Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. The Epoch Times reports that meteorologists and scientists are predicting a strong El Niño phenomenon this summer, expected to significantly reshape global weather patterns in 2026. Following the conclusion of a winter-long La Niña, nearly all predictive models suggest an El Niño will form in the coming weeks, with some indicating it could be one of the strongest in recent history. This outlook raises concerns about potentially higher than normal global temperatures and an increase in extreme weather events such as wildfires, severe floods, and droughts. While early signals are present, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, noted in April that the precise strength will depend on equatorial Pacific wind patterns. El Niño is a natural climate cycle, part of the El Niño Southern Oscillation, and so, characterized by warmer-than-average sea surface temperatures in the tropical Pacific, which can profoundly influence global atmospheric circulation and precipitation. According to One, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has expressed his desire for the United States to gradually cease its financial assistance to the Israeli military within the next decade, aiming to transform the relationship into a full partnership. Currently, Israel receives approximately $3.8 billion in U.S. military aid annually, with a total of $38 billion committed between 2018 and 2028. Netanyahu believes now is the opportune moment to reset financial ties, stating that Israel has matured beyond requiring aid. Additionally, he indicated an active pursuit of stronger relations with Gulf states. In an interview with CBS's 60 Minutes, Netanyahu speculated that the collapse of the Iranian regime would lead to the dissolution of its proxy networks, including Hezbollah and Hamas, though he noted such an outcome is not guaranteed. A recent Pew Research Center survey from March revealed a decline in U.S. public support for Israel, with 60% of adults holding a negative view, up from 53% a year prior, and 59% expressing distrust in Netanyahu's handling of international affairs. Netanyahu attributed this shift to social media manipulation by unpacified nations. According to Thai Sounds, a report released by U.S. investment bank Goldman Sachs on May 11th predicts that the burgeoning artificial intelligence (AI) chip industry will significantly boost the trade surpluses of Taiwan and South Korea. This AI-driven export surge is expected to place pressure on both countries' central banks to raise interest rates later this year. Goldman Sachs' team, led by Asia-Pacific chief economist Andrew Tilton, forecast that South Korea will increase interest rates by 25 basis points in both the third and fourth quarters, while Taiwan is expected to see hikes of 12.5 basis points in the second and fourth quarters. The report highlights that AI-related exports for South Korea could triple this year, approaching 30% of its GDP, with Taiwan's share potentially exceeding 30% of its GDP. Conversely, non-tech exports are anticipated to remain sluggish due to regional oversupply and energy impacts, creating a K-shaped cycle where high-end sectors flourish while others lag. This strong export performance is projected to drive current account surpluses to record highs by 2026, reaching over 10% of GDP for South Korea and more than 20% for Taiwan, intensifying currency appreciation pressures. Despite the potential for increased economic volatility, Goldman Sachs expects South Korea's GDP growth to rise to 2.5% in 2026 from 1% in 2025, and Taiwan's to accelerate to nearly 10% from 8.7%. The Asahi Shimbun reports on the ongoing evacuation of passengers from the Hantavirus-hit cruise ship MV Hondias. After the vessel anchored in Tenerife, Canary Islands, one American passenger tested positive for Hantavirus, though currently asymptomatic, while a French traveler developed symptoms aboard their separate aircraft. Evacuated American passengers are being flown to Omaha, Nebraska for assessment and monitoring, with the positive case going to a biocontainment unit. French passengers showing symptoms were immediately put into strict isolation. Spanish passengers were flown to Madrid for military hospital care. The World Health Organization, WHO, and other health officials continue to stress that the risk to the general public from this outbreak is low, despite 3 fatalities and 5 earlier infections linked to the ship. Disembarking passengers and port workers are wearing extensive protective gear. Countries like the UK and Netherlands are implementing quarantine and monitoring protocols for their repatriated citizens. British Army medics were also deployed to Tristan da Cunha for a suspected case. The Daily Express reports a significant increase in African migrants attempting to enter Europe via Ceuta, a Spanish enclave in North Africa. Between January 1 and April 30, 2026, to Rigo, 10 and 26, 2,101 people arrived in Ceuta, marking a 329% surge compared to the same period in 2025. Migrants are reportedly risking their lives by scaling border fences or swimming for Moroccan waters. Despite this rise in Ceuta, overall irregular migration to Spain has seen a 43.2% drop, with 7,923 arrivals in the first 4 months of 2026, down from 2025 figures. Meanwhile, the UK has also seen a decrease in English Channel crossings this year, with 7,380 arrivals, which is 36% lower than at this point in 2025 and 16% below 2024 figures. Since 2018, over 200,000 migrants have crossed the Channel into the UK, with a third arriving under the Labour government since July 2024. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.